Hello everybody, welcome. Today is July 1st. Happy Christmas in July stitching to me. Okay, so today's start for July 1st was a Christmas ornament, small, and it's from Colorado Cross Stitcher, and it's called Peace and Joy, and it's one of a series that I got from her a year or two ago. Anyway, it has Peace and Joy, Noel, Mary, and Good Tidings. This one you may remember because I stitched it on our trip to Canada. And then this was today's Peace and Joy was the second of the series that I have stitched. And I started it brand new this morning, bright and early. I did 155 stitches on it and posted it for my bingo game. And then I just kept stitching on it until I finished it tonight on my Zoom call. And I'm delighted. Now, I did make one tiny change in it, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I put little black beads for their eyes because they were green, the dark green French knots. And I didn't think they would show up very well. There you can see the little eyes there. And I just felt like the little black beads would give it a tiny bit of dimension on there. And I went ahead and put that in. Now, today, total, the stitches to complete this was 1,048. So after I posted for my bingo game, I stitched another 800 and some odd stitches to finish it. But that is, you can tell this is on a remnant of a piece of fabric. I did Good Tidings on one side of it, and I did this Peace and Joy today on this side. And I've just about run out of the floss for this series, and I actually think there's only one more I would ever even want to stitch out of it. But I think two's enough. I'm gonna have these two be it. And I'm probably going to take these lovely patterns here and gift them away. So if you are interested in this set, again, this is Peace and Joy, Good Tidings, Mary, Noel. Then if you would just put Peace and Joy, since that's the one I stitched, put Peace and Joy in the comment that you would be interested in stitching Peace and Joy, and I'll put your name in the drawing for it. So all the criteria apply. You have to be 18 to enter, so you can legally give me your address. And you have to be a subscriber. But if you'll put that in your comment, I will definitely put you in the drawing for it. And I will say that probably will pull the winner by the 31st of the month. We'll just do it at the end of the month. We'll give you the whole month. So, but it has to be on this video because there'll be multiple videos, I'm sure, through the Christmas and July stitching. But it has to be on this video, please. So once again, the two that I have stitched so you can see kind of what they look like. This is on a 32 count fabric, and this is the size of them. So they're fairly large pieces, at least on this count of fabric they are. The design size is 64 by 57 on the one that I did today. So they're 60 by 61. This one is 61 by 58. So they're right in that little range. They're not exactly the same size, but they're within a few stitches of being the exact same size. So there you go. Remember, if you're interested in stitching it, Peace and Joy. So my Christmas in July stitching has gotten off to a great start. Donna was over today to film a little segment with me about our retreat that we just got back from. And she saw how far I had stitched on it when she got here at noon. And she said, "Oh, you're going to finish that one tonight." And I said, "I don't know. Got all those poinsettias on it at the top." I wasn't sure. But I was able to finish it. Now, it is 10 o'clock at night. And I have been stitching on it most of the day. But I did get it done. So I'm tickled. So that's a new start and finish. That won't happen every day. It will not. But it's a great way to get the month started. So I'm tickled about that. And you get an opportunity to stitch these yourself if you'll enter with a comment. So I'm going to say good night. I will hopefully have more stitching to share with you on July 2nd, my second day of Christmas in July. And I will go ahead and tell you that my piece that I will be stitching is Silent Night, Holy Night, and that is by Cottage Needleworks. I've had this in my stash a very long time. I had it in my head what I wanted to do with it. I couldn't get it to fit on the fabric that I wanted. And I figured out a way to do it. I'm going to alter the pattern. I'm going to use all the components, the wording and the heart and the church and the trees, but they'll just be laid out a little differently, but they'll fit on the fabric I want. And so I will see how that goes tomorrow. I'll get it started at least. We'll go from there. Can't wait to share it with you. And I'll talk to you as soon as possible. In the meantime, happy stitching, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Dina. It is July 3rd, and I'm here to share some stitching with you and tell you about plans for today. So my Christmas in July piece for July 2nd was Silent Night, Holy Night by Little House Needleworks. And this is one I was going to do on a printed fabric, something that I had been wanting to do. So I did alter it just slightly. I left off some of the border because the fabric itself is going to be the attractive piece. So here it is, and it's finished. So isn't that lovely? So my thoughts are that I'm going to cut it off about right here when I either make it into a wall hanging, a pillow, or frame it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, because this part of the fabric up here is part of the picture. All the snowflakes falling down. Isn't that a beautiful way to view that? I know you're probably seeing through it. Let's see if that helps at all. Yeah, a little bit. I think it looks so pretty on this fabric. Just beautiful. And I moved the lettering of Silent Night, Holy Night. It was over here on the pattern. And I moved it up to the top above the little church. And kept it toward the center of the fabric. I had to calculate where I wanted everything and place it just so. But I'm thinking that what you're seeing in the screen is about what I will be showing on that piece. So the cross stitch will be at the bottom of the picture. And the fabric is really a big part of the show on that one. Now, you notice I said it was July 3rd. So yes, I actually stitched on this for 2 days. So now in the late afternoon, I will be starting on my July 3rd piece. And my July 3rd piece is another small, and it is another new start. And it's Sip, Stitch, and Repeat, which is a Primrose Cottage piece right here. And I will start on it tonight. I won't finish this one today. I will not finish it. Now, on the July 4th itself, I start another new one called Christmas Silhouettes, and it's one of the ones I can't wait to get started on. And my friend Juliana's coming to stitch with me tomorrow because my husband's running in the 4th of July road race, his 40th year, to do that. And he'll be running a 10K there, and he is leaving about 4:30 in the morning to get down to the start line because his race starts about, I think in the wave that he's in, he'll be starting about 7:15 in the morning. And then he'll be home around lunchtime maybe. But anyway, this will be what I'm stitching on with my friend Juliana. No, this won't be. This is what I'll be stitching on tonight, and the silhouettes is what I'm supposed to start on the 4th. So from this point forward, I don't know if I'll have any more finishes on any of these new starts, but this one was just so close, I just couldn't stand it, so I had to finish it up today. But I will tell you, there's a lot of stitches in this thing, a lot, and I left off the top and bottom border, so. But once again, there you go, Silent Night, Holy Night, and it says all is calm, all is bright at the bottom. I just think it's very, very pretty. So I'm gonna roll that back up and put that away now, and let's get started on the one I'm supposed to do for today. I hope you're having a great start to your July. And if you're doing Christmas in July stitching, I hope you're enjoying every minute of it. I will talk to you as soon as I have something else to share. Happy stitching, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back again. This is Dina. It is later on the 3rd of July, and I am here to tell you what Christmas in July stitching that I got done that was called for today on my Christmas in July list. So my list for today was Sip, Stitch, Repeat from Primrose Cottage. This is one of 2 of these smalls that I have slated to start this month. And today I did start it, and I got 581 stitches in it, which I think is a great start. And this is what it looks like. I've got this whole side done as far as that border down to the word. There are 3 more little button motifs that go here at the bottom. But I started here at the top corner, worked my way across and down, across and down. And so that's where I got to. So what I have left is probably about half the design. There's a pair of scissors with a spool of thread here that's quite large. And then there's the little word repeat that goes here. And there's a little cup that's made into a pincushion. And there are spools of thread all across. So this one will be about that big, I guess, when it gets done. It's supposed to be about 4 inches by 4 inches, I think, because this is 28 count. 4 5/8 by 4 1/4, so it's almost 5 inches by 4 1/4. So there you go. There you have it. It's going to be lovely, I hope. Anyway, this is my first one so far that I haven't finished by the time I've shown it to you. But that's probably going to be more the trend. I was surprised that I finished the first 2, which is great. But this starts, this is the first one that'll go into my whip pile. But I'm looking forward to it. Now tomorrow, my new start will be Christmas silhouettes. Now this is the one that was gifted to me by a viewer and a very nice person, and I'll be starting it in the jewel tones, the light jewel tones, to go with that decor that I use in my Christmas. So I'll get started on it, and I've picked one of the patterns that I'm gonna do, see how I like it. And then that I'll start on in the morning, and I'll come and share it with you. I am loving this. This is fun. I've got to go tonight and pull out my acrostics and see if anything that I've already been stitching on is on my acrostics, because I did try to use all of my Christmas new starts and whips on as much of the acrostics as I could for this month. So I need to go look to see if there's anything else I need to post. And then I'm going to say goodnight and start again early in the morning. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you're headed into a wonderful weekend. And if you're in the States, happy July 4th. That's tomorrow. So I hope you have a great time celebrating. Stay safe. Good night, everybody. Happy stitching. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. This is Dina. It is July 4th, and I am here to talk to you a little bit about my Christmas in July stitching for today and what's been going on here. First of all, the stitching. So today's Christmas in July stitch was a new start for me called Christmas Silhouettes. And when I originally shared this pattern with you, I said I was going to do this round one that actually says Silent Night, and it's 3 houses. And when I pulled this out last night to put it on roll frame and to get started measuring where I was going to start it and put my pin in place so that this morning I could just come right on in here and start stitching, I remembered that when I first looked at this pattern, the one I really wanted to do was this one because the shape is so different. And I had gone in my stash of frames, and I had found that I didn't have a frame for this one because it was so narrow. But I did have a frame I could use for this one, and so I had said, okay, since I could frame it myself, I'm going to stitch that one. Well, when I pulled it out last night, I said, I don't want to stitch that one. That's not the one that drew my attention. This is the one I want to stitch. So guess what? That's the one I started because it's my rules, right? So I have a beautiful piece of fabric here. It is from Grace Notes Fabrics. It's a 32 count Lugana, and its colorway is Serenade. And it's a gorgeous piece of kind of a violet, a really light magenta color. And if you recall, I wanted to stitch this monochromatically, but in a very highly variegated silk. This is a Karen Water Lilies, and it's Hyacinth is the colorway. And if you'll recall, it's because I have a jewel toned set of Christmas ornaments and decor that I like to put out every 4 or 5 years. I go with jewel tones, and I thought this would be a great way to have a picture that I could put near my tree that would go with it. And I got lots of positive feedback about that in the comments, so thank you for letting me know what you thought about it. So I started it this morning, and I have stitched 431 stitches in it, and I want to show you where that got me. Isn't that beautiful floss? It's so pretty. I love how variegated it is and how different it is. So today I did my old trick of taking the floss, the silk, and looking at it throughout to see where the colors repeat, and cutting lengths of floss that are easy to break. So if there's a nice long stretch that has this tan color, I can cut right in the middle of that. If there's a nice long stretch that has this teal here or this purple here, I can cut in the middle of that. And so when I am getting ready to start and stop my colors, I can go from one strand, then go from another and another, and I have 3 usually. I break it. It usually winds up being 3 pieces for me for some reason, and I just do ABC, 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 and they work out really well. And so today that's what I did here. And I even, when I did colors that I came all the way across here, and then I got about the top half of that done, and then when I came back across, it matched up beautifully to where I could start, and then I just kept coming down and coming across, and then I came up and did the trees. So now I've just started coming down this long side over here, and then I'll go back and start filling in up here. But I'm loving it. and it's beautiful. But this is going to be a more long-term piece. It's not a small. This is what I would call more of a little medium piece. It's not extremely large. It is, does it have it here? Yeah, it's 37 stitches wide, but it's 142 stitches high. And so on my 32 count, it's going to be somewhere around 2.5 to 3 inches by about 9. So it's, you know, it's going to be skinny and long. I don't think I'll be able to frame it because you have to be able to cut the width of something. Well, maybe, because you have to have at least 5 inches before they'll cut a frame. And if it's 3 inches wide, then an inch on each side would give me 5. So it might be okay. I could get it framed. But anyway, because it is more long term, I'm going to stop stitching on it now at 431 stitches. I'm going to call that done because, for one reason, I need to stitch my temperature tree. I need to finish out my month of June on my temperature tree. And that is not part of my Christmas stitching, but it is something I've been trying to keep up with. And so I'm going to put this away now, and because there's no way I can finish this today, there's no need to keep just stitching and stitching and stitching on it. I'm happy with the progress. And I think what I'm going to do now is put this away, and I'm going to pull out my temperature tree, and I'm going to try to get that done. So that'll be my next stitch, and I'll be working on that. My Christmas in July stitching for tomorrow will be another new start, and it is a Rudolph's Reindeer Games. And that, I think, is one of my acrostics. So this one today I hadn't used in an acrostic either. So that was another reason why it was sort of like, oh, I don't need to keep going with that. I can come back to it later. It can go into my whip pile. So this one I'm going to do with it. So I'm going to move on forward and try to pull up my temperature tree and see if I can catch up on it. And if you are in the U.S. and celebrate our Independence Day, then happy July 4th for you. My husband did run in the Peachtree Road Race this morning. It's a 10K road race. It's been going on for many, many years. And he, today, ran his 40th consecutive Peachtree Road Race 10K. And he was very pleased that he made it in under an hour. And so that was his goal. 2 goals. He wanted to run the entire way, and he wanted to make it under an hour. And he did. So, barely, but he did. So he's happy. So now tomorrow night, we're going to celebrate his accomplishment for real with a dinner out with friends. And I'm excited about that. Can't wait to be able to celebrate that with him. So in the meantime, I hope you have happy stitching. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. It is later on the 4th of July, and I'm here to let you know I got my temperature tree caught up. This is just a computer rendering of what it might look like. Yours would be different because it's based on the temperature where you live. Each branch is a month, and each leaf is a day, and I'm just recording the high for each day for where I live. And tonight I finished the June branch. So I got all of those hot orange, dark orange colors for the hot temperatures that we've been having in the month of June. So now that's finished up through this point, and then this starts the July branch. And as I've mentioned before, I find that for me, it works great just doing it twice a month. I do the first half of the month after the 15th, and then I do the last half of the month sometime right after the first of the next month. And so today, once I finished stitching on what I felt like was enough of a new start for my Christmas in July, I thought today's the day, and I went ahead and did my temperature tree. So I'm excited about that. I have found out this evening that we have friends that had planned to come to the dinner for my husband tomorrow. They were going to get here just in time for dinner, and then they were going to turn around and drive all the way back home, which is It's not a close place. It's about 5 hours away. And I talked with my friend and said, you know, I'm worried about you driving back that late, especially after eating a big meal of pasta. That tends to make me sleepy. So I don't know about you, but I just am very nervous about you guys driving back home that late, and I wish you would spend the night. And so they reevaluated, and I'm so glad they did. And they are going to leave in the morning from their home in Alabama, and they're driving over, and they'll be here tomorrow sometime right after lunch, early afternoon time frame. And then they will ride with us to dinner and spend the night, and they won't go home until sometime on Sunday, which is fabulous, which is great. Now, again, my son is coming as a surprise to my husband. He doesn't know he's coming, but my friend does know. And so she told me not to worry. They were bringing their mattress, bed stuff that they take camping with them, and they're just going to camp out on our other bedroom floor. And that JT can still have the guest room as I had planned, and they don't want to knock him out of his guest room. He may have an argument with that when he gets here. He may tell them no. He may say he's sleeping on the air mattress and give them the bedroom. But I'll let them all duke it out. I'm not worried. I don't care which room either of them sleep in. But my husband doesn't know our son's coming. And today was very difficult because he was really trying to finalize some plans to go visit our son before his birthday, because my husband is going to gift my son, our son, his bicycle, his road bike. And it's a very nice high-end bike that my husband rode many 100-mile bike rides on, but he's just not riding up here. And rather than let it sit and rust up, he would rather our son get to use it. And our son rides all the time now. So I asked if he wanted it for his birthday, and he was thrilled, absolutely thrilled to death to get it. So now my husband is obsessed about trying to get it to him in time for his birthday, not knowing that our son will be here this weekend. Tomorrow, he'll be here tomorrow. So anyway, I think this is funny. I'll let you know how it plays out. Oh, it's very hard trying to surprise my husband. So this has been an interesting event, to say the least. So I am tickled about my Christmas stitching. I've had so much fun. I did finish 2 of the first 4. And tonight, now that I finished my tree stitching, I think I'm going to go back and pick up my Sip, Stitch, Repeat and put some more stitches in it, because it's smaller and I have a chance of finishing it by the end of the month a lot better than I do the one that I started today. So I am going to put a few more stitches in it tonight because I have some time. So I'll be doing that in a minute, and I will, of course, share with you probably tomorrow what I get done on it. So tomorrow's call I mentioned was Rudolph's Reindeer games. And so I'm looking forward to another new start. And then the next day, which is on the 6th, which is Sunday, is a whip. It's Santa's workshop. So I'm glad it worked out that way, because I'll have company for most of the day, and I may only have to put in for Santa's workshop, I'll have to put in 300 stitches because it's in my acrostic for the daily 30, but that's all I have to do. It's not like I'm trying to finish it. So that'll be good. That'll work out really well. So tomorrow is Rudolph's Reindeer games. And then, because I have another one later that's called Reindeer games, but this is Rudolph's Reindeer games, and I'll share that with you tomorrow. In the meantime, thanks for letting me share this Christmas in July journey with you. I'm having such a good time with it. I actually thought about trying to put on something, to dress for Christmas every day, but it is so hot. And most of my Christmas is either turtleneck long sleeve shirts or sweaters. And so I haven't done that. But anyway, I have toyed with also playing Christmas music, but the one time I've had music on my channel was an accident. My husband was in a pet shop with Coco, and he was filming Coco, and you could hear the music overhead, and YouTube blocked it. And I had to go cut it out of my video before they would let it come up. let me publish it. So I hesitate to put any music on my channel at all for that reason. So just know that I am in the Christmas spirit and I am stitching my Christmas whips and new starts, and I am loving it. So I will keep you posted, and I hope you're having a great time as well. Happy stitching, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Dina. It is July 5th. Today is the first day of the Tour de France, and it is the 5th day of my Christmas in July stitching. So today I had to stitch at least 185 stitches for the Tour de France, but my new start for today for my Christmas in July is Rudolph's Reindeer Games. This was gifted to me by my friend Lisa, and she gifted everything to me, the floss and the pattern and even the finishing stand for it. I put a remnant of fabric to it, and I got it started this morning. So I've put in 410 stitches in here, and I got the words Reindeer Games. There's a white stitch that shadows this that I haven't put in yet, but with 410 stitches, it's enough for a new start. It's enough to meet my acrostic on the 30-day group, which requires 300 stitches. And I have company coming in here in about an hour. So I wanted to close everything up, put it away, straighten up my space up here. And that way I'll be ready for my company when they come in. And I have met my requirements for my stitching for my July stitching. So that's it for today. If I do any more stitching, you probably won't see it until after my company leaves. Pardon the noise here. I'm taking off the Q-snap so I can put this away, but I'll show it to you one more time. This is just the remnant of fabric I have, and this is going to be a flat finish, so this was enough to do, and that's what I got started. So very excited about that. 410 stitches. Yay. So I'll post this now. I don't know if y'all are having any trouble, but I've been trying to post into the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch Facebook group. I can go in and create a post to say that I'm participating in the acrostic, and I can put one posting in there that has the acrostic letters on the side, and I can save it. But when I go back in to edit it so I can add in pictures and things as I stitch, it's not giving me the option to edit at all. I don't know if anybody else is having that trouble. But anyway, I'm not able to post in there right now because I can't. I don't want to go in and put in a different post for everything I stitch. So anyway, if you miss seeing it in there, that's why. I tried, but I can't seem to get it in there. And I've tried 2 or 3 times now. I've posted it and deleted it and posted it and deleted it 3 times. But anyway, that's where we are. This piece that I just did, the Rudolph's Reindeer Games, as I mentioned, was the first stitch for my Tour de France. It is also the G in the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch for games. So I can mark that completed now. And it is in my daily 30 group, and for the daily 30 group it's Reindeer Games, so it's the R in scrapbooks. So I need to go in and post that now, because that one I can post in, I think. I'll try and see. And we'll go from there. So I'm excited that things are going so well. Tomorrow's stitch, when I ever get to it, is a whip. And it says Santa's Workshop. And I think I may change that. And here's why. I need to continue stitching on my British Bake Off. And my British Bake Off stitching, I need, oh goodness, I need a lot. I need 50 stitches for last in technical, and I need 225 stitches. So that's 275 stitches that I need to put in December quilt. And I only need 100 in Santa's workshop. So I need to do one or the other of those just for my British Bake Off, and then do the other one for the British Bake Off and my day of stitching tomorrow. I may leave Santa's workshop for tomorrow for that, because it's only 100 stitches and that's what I need for bingo. So I'll probably do that first. And since I may not get a lot of stitching in tomorrow, since I have company, December quilt might have to wait. But I guess what I'm saying is I may need to go ahead and flip my December quilt and stitch it, because the person's getting sent home and there was no handshake. So that one project is getting stitched for 3 different things, but it'll be the last time that it's called for, which will be great because I'll only stitch it once in the month of July. And then that leaves me working on episode 6, which I really need to be doing this week. And we'll see how that goes. I also have a problem in that I have spring bag as one of my projects to stitch on in here for the British Bake Off, and I finished it. I finished it already. So now I've got to go pull one of my substitutes out of my jar over here where I've got the names of my substitutes, and I need to pull one forward. So I'll be telling you about that too. So that's all for now, and when I have more stitching to share with you, I'll be back. Happy stitching, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is Dina. It is Sunday. It is July 6th, and I'm here to start my report to you on what I've been stitching. Coco. I decided after meeting my stitch for July 5th yesterday, Rudolph's Reindeer games, which I showed you last night after my husband's dinner for his achievement of 40 years running the Peachtree. Our friends came back here, one of the couples who was spending the night with us came back here, and our son, of course, came here to spend the night, and we sat and talked and visited for a while. And then a couple of people went on to bed, and in fact, all the guys went to bed. But my friend Bonnie and I are night owls, and so we came on up here to my craft room. And Bonnie sat over in the lounge chair, the Chase lounge over there, and I stitched, and we chatted and talked, and it was wonderful. So, because this was extra stitching, I couldn't help myself. I picked up my Sip Stitch Repeat that I had started already this week, and I stitched on it until I finished it. So here is my Sip Stitch Repeat, and there are a couple of changes in it, so I'll tell you what they are. The first change occurred right here in these bobbins. They are supposed to be green, red, green, red, green. And I felt 2 things. I wanted them to be satin stitched to look more like thread. So I did the X's underneath and then did the satin stitches on top of them to make them puffy, very puffy, and look more like thread to me on the bobbin. And as I was talking with my friend, I had green on my needle, and I was just walking across here doing these, and I realized after the second one, oh, that was supposed to be red. But it doesn't really matter. So I turned this one red and just did one more green so that these 2 would be every other one like they were supposed to be. But there's a little whimsy right there, and I'll remember when I look at it that I was visiting with my friend Bonnie. So there you go. The other change I had is that these are to be red cross stitches, and instead I put little red beads to be the pin heads. So they look more like pins to me with a bead top. But it's finished. I did 366 stitches on this yesterday to finish it up. So now, out of the first 5 days of July,
I have started 5 new projects and I have finished 3 of them. They're smalls, so that's awesome. This one took 3 stitching sessions on it before it was finished. So it has a lot of stitches in it. And I have a companion piece to go right over here later in the month. So I wanted to share that with you. I certainly met enough stitches because I needed 185 for the Tour de France and I got 366. So I definitely knocked that one out of the park. Today's mileage is supposed to be 212. And I'm stitching on Santa's Workshop. And Santa's Workshop is also in my daily 30, which means I need to really do 300 stitches in it today, if I have time. I'm thinking I will. Our friends want to get back home fairly early today because they have a 5-hour drive, and our son has a 5-hour drive in the opposite direction. And so he may stay longer. He's got a little bit of business to take care of today. He needs to go to the kiosk and renew his driver's license and pay his car tags. So he's got to do that today. But I'm hoping he'll get to have lunch with us. I don't know if our friends will be here that long, but I hope they will. And but then late this afternoon, I should be able to start stitching, and I should be able to meet my goal. I hope so anyway. And if not, I'll do it tomorrow. But I really want to hit at least the 212 stitches for the Tour de France. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull it out now and get it ready. And then my husband and our friend John have gone to Mass. John is a Catholic, and my husband offered to take him to a local Mass here. And they found a church that my husband thought would be one they could get to fairly well. And, you know, my husband thought it might be very nice. And so that's what they've done this morning. And then I think when they get back, my husband's going to go on to our church because he's singing in the choir this morning. I let them know I wouldn't be because I knew my son would be here and I'd want to visit with him and sit with him in the church, not sing up in the choir loft and leave him by himself. So anyway, all of that to say, we have a very fluid day. I'm not sure what we'll be doing when, but I'm looking forward to it. And I hope you are having a great day. And I hope you're looking forward to your day too. When I have more to share with you, I will definitely come back and do that. But let me give you a quick rundown on my husband's dinner last night. We had 20 people there. It was fabulous. I was so tickled. Everybody who said they were coming, except one, was able to come. One had a family emergency. And so that was great. We had a table full, a long table, the whole side of a room. It was great. I took a quilt that I had made for my husband years ago. It's a t-shirt quilt, and it's the second one I made him. I made him one the first 10 years of his running, took t-shirts that he liked, and I made him a t-shirt quilt. And I didn't really know what I was doing. And it shows it. It's to me, it's very amateurish and a little rough because, you know, t-shirts stretch and if you don't stabilize them, which is what I learned on the first quilt. So I learned a little bit more. And 10 years later, when he wanted a second quilt, I felt like I was a little better prepared to do that. And it was 10 or 20 years later. And it was a while. And he had a lot of shirts to choose from. And so I went through with him and he chose the shirts he wanted. And then my son helped me arrange them. And we put them in order with, by then he was biking. And so the corners are shirts from bike rides that he was in, 100-mile bike rides. And the rest of the quilt is running. And a large portion of it is Peachtree. So I took it with us last night. It was one I put the top together and then I had someone long arm it for me because it was a queen size quilt. But we were able to hang it in the room because they put us in the room that has library books or a bunch of, a whole wall of real heavy books. They're real books. And we were able to take the quilt and put it up in front of the books and pull them forward on the shelf. And they held the quilt up for us. So it was the backdrop for our dinner. It was nice. My husband went through his running numbers and found the first number he had ever been given for the peach tree 40 years ago. And he had the one from this week. And so we put that on the table together. I have a little statue of a runner I had gifted him 20, 30 years ago when he's really got into it. And it's a little bronze statue, and I took that and put it in the middle of the table. And he had gotten a picture from the peach tree this year that he took right before the race. And he's holding up 4 and 0 for 40 years in his fingers. And he's smiling so big. And so then we went back and pulled some pictures of him from previous races at the finish line, one of which included my son, which was great. They had run it together when my son was a teenager. And so we had that there. But the most fun to me was when our son arrived. He did not know Jeremy was coming at all. And Jeremy and I had prearranged that he would text me and let me know when he was really close in the neighborhood so that I could get my phone camera ready. And I did. And I was standing to the side. And when Jeremy came in the door, I filmed my husband and his surprise. And he's kind of shocked. He doesn't really know what to do at first. I think he couldn't believe his eyes. So I'll insert that video clip as well. But I've got pictures from the dinner I'll put at the end. And the clip of him at dinner. When Jeremy got here. I also am hoping that I can get a picture of my husband and Jeremy holding a painting that JT did for my husband for Father's Day, and he brought it up with him. And it is a beautiful canvas that he did of a hiker. And it means a lot to my husband, and I think it's a beautiful piece. And so I'd like to share that with you. If I can talk him into it, maybe I could get him to show it to you on camera and say hi, but we'll see. Anyway, I'll show you the painting at the very least. But we've had a great time, and it was a great celebration. And my husband got some cards from friends congratulating him that were at the party. And mostly it was fun to talk to the people there because several of the people in attendance had run in their lifetime. Either one guy had run cross country in high school and had run after high school and had run a marathon or two. And another one of the ladies I invited, the couple from Sunday school, I knew she was a runner. And she is preparing for another marathon. And she and my husband got to talking about that because he wants to run one more. And there were probably 5 of the people that were there who had run 10Ks before, and at least 4 other people who had run the Peachtree at least once. And so they really could appreciate the dedication that it took for my husband to be running that long and to run that race every year. It's a brutal race. It's all up and down hills, and the end of it is all uphill. And it's a 10K, so it's 6.2 miles. And in Georgia, in the heat, in July, it can be hard. And so my husband was very proud of himself because he finished in under an hour, and that was his big goal. And then he also had a small goal that he wanted to run the whole way and not have to run and walk if he could help it. And he ran the entire way. So he was very pleased that he met those 2 goals. So I'm proud of him, as you can tell. I think he's taking great care of himself and staying healthy, and that makes me happy because I want him around for a very long time. And I told him he had to do another 40 years. He's not sure that's possible. He was teasing with me about that. But anyway, thanks for letting me share my family stuff with you, but I'll put all the videos at the end in case you're not interested in that. But it's just part of my life, and it's a big part of my life. And so every now and then, I give you a glimpse of that just by sharing some of it with you, and I hope you enjoy it. Well, I'm gonna go now. I got to get my husband's choir book ready, and I got to get my stitching ready for this afternoon. And I'll talk to you soon. Happy stitching, everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. JT's here with me today.
Hello.
Yesterday, JT surprised his dad. We had a little secret, and he came up for the dinner that we threw for Tommy's accomplishment of running 40 years in the Peachtree Road Race 10K. But JT brought another surprise for his dad.
It was Father's Day, and I didn't get up here till this weekend, so I made him a painting. That's it. So,
There's Coco getting the stand. But this is the painting that JT brought his dad. Tell us about it.
it's a hiker. He likes to hike, so it's a hiker.
Yeah.
And it's just the scenery.
Like he likes to hike in the
He likes to
mountains.
hike in the mountains, so that's the mountains. And it's back there, so it looks better further
From a
away, I
distance.
think. But I don't know, it's the type of art that I think is good art because it looks bad.
It does not look bad. It does not look bad. It's not like a photograph. It's more of a...
It's art. I mean, it's art in itself is suggestive. And I like
Right.
all kinds of art. Me personally, I like messy art.
more
Like
modern,
I don't know, abstracty,
impressionistic.
Like, photorealistic's good. I can do
You can do that too.
pretty close to a good photorealistic. I just don't like it. It takes a lot of time. It's boring. I like to just kind of put paint on canvas and it goes where it wants to, and I make pictures out of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of like
What is your medium that you use? Is it oil? Is it watercolor?
I use all of it.
You used it all.
No, this one's just all acrylic.
This is acrylic. Okay.
Liquid Tex is the type I use.
Okay. Liquid Tex.
Not a sponsor, but if you want to sponsor, Liquid Tex. It's just.
But that sort of represents his dad. Tommy loves to hike, and he's hiking the AT Trail, and he's been doing a lot of rock climbing and mountain climbing in that hike, and so it fit the bill. And JT said he didn't start out to do such a big picture.
No, I wasn't going to do a big one at all. But there was a big canvas sale at the hobby store. Hobby Lobby, also not a sponsor, but if you want to sponsor. It was over half off. I think it was like 75%. Thank you, Coco. It's 75% off. So the price of this canvas was the price of the original size canvas I was
Small
going to
canvas.
do.
Yeah.
So I think this one is 40 by 60 something, 40 something by 60. It's big.
It's big. It'll take a wonderful place of honor. I'm thinking on a wall in Tommy's hiking room, the whole wall. I think it would be really pretty in there. It would fill up one of the walls.
Yeah, it's probably 8 feet behind us right now. So if it looks small, it's 8 feet back there.
Yeah, it's a ways back.
Yeah.
If I hold it up in front of me where you can see it, you couldn't see me at all. So that's okay. But I asked Jeremy if he would take a minute and let me share it with you, and where he's here to talk about it. And he said he would because he's about to head home. But it's been great seeing
Good,
you and being here.
First vacation in forever since the new job, since I work every day.
Yes.
So I finally just went to my boss. It was like, I'm taking a vacation. It's 2 days.
Yeah, I need to go. My dad's got a special occasion. I need to go.
Yep.
And so that's good. But, we're always glad to see you and spend time with you. So thank you for sharing.
Stand up behind it.
Okay, go stand and so they can kind of see more of a proportion. There we go.
That's
So
big.
it's big, yeah.
I come in closer.
Yeah, you can see how large it is. It's awesome. I love it. Thank you, Jeremy, and thanks for sharing it with us. And I will be back with you later on with more stitching. Good evening, everybody. I am back one last time on Sunday, July 6th, and I want to let you know that I did complete my Christmas in July stitching, which includes my stitching for the Tour de France and one of my British Bake Off stitches for the week. So I have one left for British Bake Off for week 6. But today's stitch was on Santa's Workshop. This is one of my 3 Christmas whips that you'll see this month. Today, I needed to stitch this 212 stitches for Tour de France, 100 stitches just for the British Bake Off. And what I actually stitched today was 354 stitches in it. So I have gotten a very good start on the floor pattern. This is sort of like a tile floor. I think that their workshop table will come off of, and Santa's boots. So this is the next layer of border, but it's actually part of the picture itself. This is the, I guess, really the border. But I brought this blue color up the side further than I actually needed to make sure I had plenty of room to do this one. And then I started the colors in here, and there are several. There's 5 different colors in there. So I'm following the pattern very closely to make sure that I get it right. Anyway, I liked it. I had a good time stitching on it today, and I am delighted that I was able to complete all of the requirements that I had for today. Now, I do have to make a change because I want to complete my British Bake Off stitching. And in order to do that, the next whip that I have to stitch on for the British Bake Off is actually my December quilt. And so tomorrow I'm supposed to have a new start called Festive Fox. And my December quilt is further down on the list. Tomorrow's number is actually numbered day 7, and December quilt isn't scheduled till day 22. So I am going to swap those two out. So tomorrow you will see another whip. You'll see December quilt, because I want to get all the stitches I need for the Tour de France, but I also want to get all the stitches that I need for my British Bake Off. And I don't think, let me look. Yep, my December quilt is in my daily 30. So that means that I need to stitch a minimum of 300 stitches, which will meet everything that I need. So that's my goal for tomorrow. And I would like to flip-flop what was going to be a new start of Festive Fox, and I'll push it to the 22nd. And I'll bring my December quilt forward. So I'll flip-flop those two. And that way I can make my British Bake Off stitching to complete the week. And then I'll look at what I'm gonna do for the next week, and I'll share that with you hopefully tomorrow. But I'm gonna call it an evening. I want to go down and spend some time with my husband, cook us some supper, and maybe watch a TV show or something with him, because we've had a lot of company this weekend, and I just kind of like to have some time with him. So I'm gonna say goodnight, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Happy stitching, everybody.
What did you do?
I have a surprise for you.
Hey, look who's here. Hey. Welcome. How was Six Flags?
It was warm.
I was going to say, come on back and stay with us tonight.
He had planned on doing that. You just didn't know it.
Oh, don't say it. Hello.
Oh my
You told
goodness.
me not to call him and ask him.
I know, I had to keep you. Yeah, I have had the hardest time keeping
Hello. Happy me.
you in the dark.
Are you by yourself? You bring any friends? Yeah, Coco, look who's here.
So we're on our walk this morning, and Coco has found something very interesting. And while she's checking it out, I'm just gonna sit here and look at the lake and enjoy the scenery. We're very blessed to have this nearby. And She is having the time of her life tracking something down. Don't know what it is. Maybe a deer. They're building next door behind our subdivision. I guess they're putting in a new subdivision. And the deer are being just displaced. You know, their habitat is being changed and destroyed for them. And so they're coming over here into our neighborhood. So we already had a good population of deer. Now we have a big population of deer. And I think she's probably found some new ones over here that like to eat the grass over here in the bushes, and they go down to the lake for water. So we see quite a few of them. They really like our flowers, and they like our grass covering, our ground covering, and our flower beds. So those are just about gone now. But anyway, Coco is checking it out. Now this is supposed to be our walking time, so you can see how much walking I'm doing. I'm standing here letting her sniff. But her walks with me are called sniffaries because it's what she wants to do. It's her time out of the house. It's her time to explore. And then when she walks with her dad, they go on hikes. So she gets, 2 to 3 miles of walking and running. But with me, it's just a casual, let me check out the neighborhood. Let me see what I can find. I'll do my business, and we'll head back in for the day. So that's it. She's looking back at our house now. Thanks for going with me on my little sniffari with Coco. I think she's ready to move along a little bit now. Nope, she's got to go back and check it out just a little bit more.